the ACLU, I almost forgot to delve into this. Now, I don't want to ask you questions that would provoke you having to badmouth the ACLU, and there's no but to that. I'll just start off by saying my view of the ACLU has radically changed over the years. And tell me if I'm wrong. The ACLU went from defending Nazis, actual Nazis' right to protest in what I now understood is a largely Jewish community, which is why they chose that community to protest in. They've gone from that level of support of freedom of speech to the current iteration morphing of the ACLU, which supports compelled speech. Obviously, again, under the guise of protecting the feelings of the trans community. They post some stuff, at least it's ACLU Virginia posted, these trans supportive tweets, don't attack trans youth. They say it 5 times and think it makes a more impactful tweet. Has there been an evolution in the essence of the ACLU over the years? And if so, why?
I absolutely agree. And I resigned in protest. When I resigned a couple of years ago from the National Board of Directors, I resigned in protest. I was a member of the board for the state of Maryland and the National Board of Directors. And what happened was, to me, the ACLU has become just an outgrowth of the woke movement. It's become the Democratic Party in the state in the United States. To me, it's just another branch of the Democratic Party. And I didn't believe that the ACLU stood for their roots anymore. It was at one time, I remember this as an example. The KKK had applied for this particular government program. They had this adopt a road, and you could put a sign. This road is, that you spend so much money, you get a sign on the road. This sign is cared for by whatever group, and you could come clean the road up. So the KKK did it, and the local government said you can't do it. And the ACLU, we argued and said, hey, that's constitutionally protected speech. You have 2 choices. You can either let them put up a sign, or you can shut the program, shut it down. But you can't tell them no based on their views, because if you start that, then you can do it to others. And that's the principle we tell the KKK. I'm not the kind of guy that's, loves the KKK and vice versa, but it was an issue of principle, right? The First Amendment, it is what it is. First Amendment in the United States is meant to ideally to protect unpopular speech. Okay. I went on all the TV channels all around and explained to it, and some people were mad and some people weren't, but it was a principle. It was a principle, and that was the ACLU. Great. And when I left, they wrote this article in the New York Times where they said that they were in favor of the mandates, the jab mandates. And at that point, I said, I'm out. No, this is not what the ACLU was. We are the opposite. We were radicals. We were the first people that would scream at the top of our lungs, no. We're filing lawsuits. We're doing everything. And now you guys are writing an article that's with things that were wrong in the article. And I showed them, this is what you said. This is what it says on Pfizer's website. Those 2 things don't match. You guys are, I'm out, right? And I was gone, and I saw, look, let me ask you this. How much money do you think the American Civil Liberty Union, just get a guess from you, on a given year, how much do you think they bring in?
Okay, so I'll go with something, now that I know that, for example, Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch, now that I know that, I think they bring in like $100 million a year. ACLU, I'll say $100 million.
When I left 2 years ago, it was $300 million.
Shut the front door. Hey, let me ask you this, Garland. The CEO or the president of the ACLU, do you know what their salary is?
It's public. I don't know. But I'll tell you this. I remember the last meeting I went to, and they went over, what we had in reserves and stocks and savings and all that. It was over $900 million.
Well, hey, yeah. It's a very lucrative.
So they ain't broke. Trust me when I tell you this.
Well, and the thing is, I don't say it judgmentally, as in it's a not-for-profit. I presume it's a registered charity. It's a registered charity, right? I mean, it's fine that they make that.
Sure, it's great if you use it for the right thing.
If you use it for the right thing. I had the last time I saw the ACLU do something that I had to give them credit for. I think it was when they defended Willie Nash, the prisoner who got 12 years for having a cell phone. He got 12 years for having a cell phone in jail, and I was like, finally, ACLU is fighting for some legitimate injustices, but. So you left the ACLU recently.
Yeah, yeah, about 2 years. Yeah, during the mandates, when the mandates
Wow.
came out, I was out of there because I so strong, and they didn't want me to leave. They said, "Yeah, we all have some disagreements." I said, "This is not
Fundamental.
even the organization." I'm out. I left, and it had go. See, the thing about it is now when you go look on their tweet, and all you see is the woke stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let
That's
me
it.
pull up another one here.
Well,
ACLU.
go to the ACLU, not because keep in mind something now. Let me
Sure.
defend them for a second.
You are on native land. I don't understand
Now,
this
keep in mind
strategy.
something,
Yeah.
and defend them for 1 second. There's you've got each state is independent. The ACLU of Virginia, ACLU of Maryland, ACLU of Southern California, and so each ACLU affiliate can say things that the national ACLU doesn't agree with. I think in fairness, you would go to the ACLU, the overall ACLU, and see what they're doing, and that would
Okay.
represent the national office. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
for
as
sure,
any
for sure.
organization, one group out there could say something that the rest doesn't agree with. So, but I'm just saying, overall, all you're going to see is the woke stuff. There's some claim that they're doing like Native Americans or discrimination or something, but for the most part, it's the woke stuff. It's not the real stuff that they should be. I'm not to tell them who, but I'm just saying, as far as I see it, when I left, they were just the Democratic Party extended.
Well,
That's what they were.
and I may not be able to find anything fast enough. And yeah, fair distinction. I would presume. Well, I'll do my homework afterwards and pull up
Yeah.
some
It's the
juices.
Democratic Party extended. That's all it is to me. And as a person who I don't belong to either of the, I call them not parties, but brainwashed cults, since I don't belong and I despise both cults. If you're a member of either of these cults extended like this organization, I don't want anything to do with you. They're
Well,
terrible.
when do you start getting demonized by the left the most? Has it been years in the making, or was this the straw that broke the camel's back, resigning from the ACLU?
I don't know, because I don't really pay any attention to it. I just so I don't know. As far as me getting demonized anyway, I do a show on in Los Angeles on KPFK radio, and there's a guy there. Then I was just told the other day he spent an entire hour railing against me. Like his entire show was railing against me as an evil Putin Russian. You know how it is now,
Oh yeah.
and right, of the evil Putin Russian bot stuff, right? And they asked me about it, and I said I don't have a problem with it. I said it just means I got two shows now, mine and his. Good. He's doing exactly what he should do. And I said, I wouldn't be mad if every single show on KPFK, they said, we'll talk about Garland Nixon. Because all of the listeners would say, I got to listen to this guy, Garland Nixon. My God, what's going on with him? So
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with people breaking me over the coals, attacking me. Wonderful.
well, I mean, they might actually go listen to and then say, not only is he not as bad as that guy said he was, I actually like what he has to say. And now I'm going to view every other accusation of being a Russian, whatever, with a little bit more circumspection.
I was told that he opened the phones and the callers all raked him over the coals and said, we love Garland. You're wrong.
Fantastic.
He's great.
There
was only two callers. The rest of them gave him a hard time and said, you're terrible. That's wrong. He's my favorite show.
That's got to make you feel very good. And not from a superficial perspective, but from you're doing the right thing perspective.